here we are. What is this, part 5 again? Or no, 6?
6, yeah.
6? Okay. I should say part 6, but C?
Whatever. We got to switch out. So.
6C. We're actually recording on my laptop right now.
Cool.
So I was talking about the Marauders. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it was. I was asking you to tell the story about, or I think you're already talking about it, being dropped off, or cannibals, or...
yeah, so they would take me. I was gonna talk about when I got caught by the Marauders and lost on the surface of Mars. So
That's it.
So the the Nuggets would take me.
There goes that.
Yeah, the Nuggets would take me once a week, and a lot of times they would take me around Mars, but they would also take me on deep space missions. So I have quite a few memories of that. I have to really push on those to get that information back, but I can. But anyways, in this particular case, it was discovered. Well, okay, so they take me to the head dude. I was talking about how they use people. They try and find people who can change the timeline. It was weird because I still don't quite understand why they would take me on some of these things. Um, but anyways, this particular Nazi.
There you go again.
Oops. This particular Nugget department. They're called dealers. Okay. And these people are they're trying to change the timeline, and the reason why they're called dealers is because they really look at it like they're trying to make a deal with the universe. And when a change is accepted by the timeline, they consider that a successful deal. And so they go around doing all these different negotiations everywhere. And they would take me on these trips because a lot of times I think somehow I provided a sense of legitimacy because I come off as a real genuine person. I'm more telepathic. I mean, that's definitely one reason why I they have a system in place where they work with they'll have a telepathic team, and there'll be 3 people on the team. And they do that because they don't want anybody lying. That's one thing. So you have 3 different people who all work together. And I mean, I don't know how much detail you guys want, but there's always one woman, one man, and then the third would be either obviously male or female. But they wanted them all having sex with each other. And I already talked about the sex stuff a little bit, how weird they are about it. But they, you don't get to choose your mate. And they want you having lots of sex, but it's not love like the way we have on Earth. They don't look at it like that. So, but when the dealers will work in some sort of negotiation, they'll have 3 telepaths, and even though they're all working together, the way they have this whole system set up is that everybody's always trying to get one up on each other. And so if somebody who's connecting and on a call or interfacing with somebody lies, the other 2 are supposed to tell on them. But I don't work well like that. I don't need to have extra bandwidth support, if you want to think of it that way. So I didn't need other people. I was actually better than 3 of them put together, because that's another thing too, is that when you do work with a team like that, it does help increase your abilities.
Remember that show that was a comedy, and it was with the guy that was in that series, Mockingjay or Mocking... wasn't the Hunger Games?
Oh yeah, Hunger
Remember
Games.
the guy?
Mm-hmm.
The guy, I don't know who he is, but he was in another series that was a comedy.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like he got pulled through different timelines with this couple.
Oh.
Remember the couple? One of the guys' name was Wolf, and it was a blonde-haired woman,
Mm.
and they would have sex before they go on a mission.
Oh, the comedy.
The comedy is a pretty funny
Yeah.
show, but there was 3 of them.
Yeah.
There was him,
Mm.
those 2, and so there's 2
That's a
guys and 1
TV
girl,
show. Yeah.
and they go through timelines. They go on missions,
Right.
and they would like to get
Actually,
ready
there's
to.
a lot of funny true stuff in that.
That's what I'm saying. To go into the whenever they do a mission or go to
Especially
battle.
the penis thing, the penis.
Remember the switch?
Well,
Remember
they
the.
do penis implants in the breakaway.
Remember they got
Okay,
switched.
so just yeah, don't ask me why I
All
know
right, all
that.
right, all right. So,
Yeah, don't ask me why
but
I
they
know
would
that.
have they'd get ready for a mission, so she would pull her pants down, bend over, and
Right.
they would
They
but
called it charging or something.
charging or whatever it was. But they didn't love each other. They were just like partners.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a relation. Wow,
Yeah.
some type of relationship.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because I.
The kind of
So here they are showing it on this.
romantic love that we have on Earth.
That was a damn
Actually,
funny show, by the way.
yeah. After all of this, remembering all this stuff that in the breakaway. Okay, and I can talk about why that's called breakaway maybe some other time.
Lay down.
But
Sweetheart.
it's really kind of a PC title. Really kind of a PC title. But
Good.
the kind of love that we have here, amongst couples and marriages and family, it doesn't really exist a lot up there. The the people that I remember the most that actually have that kind of relationship were actually the German cleaning fix-it slaves colony on Mars. They really loved their children, and they had like real marriages where people really loved each other. Um, and they'll do anything for their kids. But anyway, so okay, so I'm on this errand with these dealers, and they are going to see the head Marauder dude. And of course, go figure. This is where I find out that it's all once again a psyop. Um, the head person of these Marauders was in cahoots with the Nuggets and would do their bidding. And they actually were trying to they were striking a deal with the head guy to get the Marauders to attack our base. So what's strange? So we were meeting in some weird place on Mars that was away from the Marauders' den, if you want to call it that. And as we had done the deal, and see, here's the thing: I would get blinked. Okay, and that's what I actually remember getting the crystal that does the quick flash. And from it's actually like the thing like in Men in Black. Um, I remember something like that actually in World War II when that's a whole nother story, but when I was a little girl. Um, but anyways, but actually a lot of these devices now they're in glasses, so be weary. It's funny, how like they would actually put glasses on and then they would blink you. Well, I remember now the devices are actually in the glasses, so you have to be looking into it, which is why somebody will blink you, when you're. But anyway, so after these deals, they would do this to me, and they would do it for the space of time that however long the deal was. We were there for an hour. They blinked me for an hour. And so for me, like a lot of this memory erasing, there's a lot of layers to it, and in a lot of ways, it's almost like opening up a book, and then you have a whole section of sticky pages, and then you can open that. But then there's still more sticky pages than that, and you can open that. So it's real strange, but I wonder if I can kind of change the way this is. I can't do that. Okay. Anyway, I was trying to make it so that I don't look like I'm glowing here. Um, but anyway, so uh, but as we're leaving this deal, the members of the Marauders group, they didn't know that we were meeting with their head dude, and they actually attacked us. And I remember they killed. I was with three other people. I think two of them died, and they bring us into their den, and this is their initiation. They'll put you in a cell with this really really crazy guy, and I don't remember how many nights it is. For some reason, I seem to remember like at least one night, but maybe two or three, or maybe even a week. But if you can survive living in this cell without getting eaten by this man, totally crazy guy, then you become a part of their crew. So, um, so anyways, I remember being in the cell for at least a couple of days, and I somehow was able to escape, and I book it back to the base. But it was like a 3-day hike, and I was running as fast as I could for as long as I could. And the way this memory came through is it was basically I'm underneath this overpass, and so the early colonies on Mars they actually did make like a road system. So there actually are roads with overpasses. They're not in use at all, but they do exist. And I'm actually underneath this overpass, and I'm just taking a break because there is a sandstorm. I'm in my black suit, and I'm coming upon some old ruins from the early colonies, and the homes look just like Native American homes, like in the like Arizona desert, like the Hopis. I don't know if it's the Hopis, but they're square sand homes. And the thing about these places, and what's I had this memory a long time ago, guys. I mean, it was so long. I mean, I want to say it was probably 15 years ago. And this one came through so crystal clear that I was just upset for like a couple of weeks because I didn't know what it was. But I'm just scouring these homes looking for a can, like a can of like green beans or something, because I need the water in it. That's actually what I need more than anything. And I was also looking for clothes because I was worried that they were going to spot me. So I was looking for like old jackets and hats and scarves and stuff because a lot of what's interesting about a lot of these places is they still have stuff in them. Mostly like knickknacks and types of things, but sometimes you can find food. And I was able to actually hide and sleep in one of these places, but I had to run as fast as I could. Um, and the part of the thing was is I ended up staying in one of these homes, um, but I wanted to put a blanket over the door because there was a sandstorm outside, but I knew that would give me away, so I couldn't do that. So, anyways, just but the weird thing about this memory is like it was like 2 hours of this, right? I'm underneath the overpass and I'm running as fast as I can, and I'm going through these homes, and what was weird, it was all modern stuff, um, but it was all coated with just a ton of sand, and these places are real small homes, and usually like bunk beds in them, and I the place was it's so human and so earth-like, but just different. And I didn't understand like, and why am I looking for clothes, and why am I looking for a can of food, and why am I hoping for just one can of food instead of like five, right? Because I'm hungry. And that was something I didn't really understand. It's like, I mean, you don't need a lot of calories when you're wearing the suit. Like 100 calories can go a really long way. And so I was really more concerned about the water than actually having calories. And so all of this information comes through and you just don't know like why. Um, and so and that was it, that was it. So since, I've obviously learned that what it was, um, and I played afterwards, and right after that actually was when the Marauders did attack. The head den guy actually came up to the base, um, and they were going to invade us. And I remember um, I said to the two head guys, uh, okay, let's go talk to him. Let's see if we can negotiate. And they're like, are you nuts? What are you gonna say? And I said, I don't know. I'm just hoping when I see his face, I'm gonna remember something, because right, I have been blinked. I didn't know, anything. I didn't actually know that this guy was in cahoots with them. And when I did see his face, I did remember that. And they were actually feeding this man. And the thing about these people, I mean, they're beyond emaciated. I mean, it's bad. But they're fiends, which is crazy. I mean, they're like really skinny fiends. And this guy actually had some chub on him, you know. And I just pointed out to him. I said, hey, look, this guy's got some. He's got a little baby fat going on. You know, why do you think that's the case? And because they are very tribal, they actually give him more food. And they said a couple of the people that was with him said, well, you know, we revere him, or whatever it was. You know, we give him more food. And I said, well, you guys are all starving. You're barely surviving. Um, so how much more does he get? 20%, 50% more? He should only be looking like having a little more weight on him, not actually some fat. And
So can we pause it right here for a moment?
yeah.
Okay, we'll be right.
All right, we're back from
Nature calls
yeah,
for the little baby. Okay.
little doggy had to get a little pee break. I don't know what this is doing now. Okay. So anyway, I'm negotiating with this head dude, and when they realized, so I had remembered that he was in cahoots with the Nuggets, and these people, they don't have extra resources to expend, so they really didn't want war. All they want is food.
You were saying that one guy had a little more of a pouch on him. That was
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, he actually looked
I was just trying to. Okay.
healthy,
Yeah.
like healthy weight. And they just had thought it was because they gave him more food. And I'm pointing out, nope. Um, even though he's getting more food, you guys are on such a meager diet. It's not going to create healthy weight in a person. And right then and there, when the light went off for these people, because who knows what else, other information they knew, they actually turned on this guy. And that's when I was pulled off. It's like, okay, get out of here. We're getting out of here. So that's a fun one. So yeah, do you have a question for me, interviewer?
No.
uh,
No. I mean, you talked about the inside. You were a little bit
yeah.
about the brothel. Yeah, actually, I think it's a pretty good amount of information.
Yeah.
It's pretty, pretty dense stuff to chew on.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
no, I think
Yeah.
we could stop here. I think it's a good stopping point.
All right. So with that, you guys, once again, just as a person to person here, I really appreciate that you're listening. I really do. Uh, it's been really good for my own personal mental and emotional health, knowing that I have this outlet, and just that a few people are listening. So just want to say thanks again.
I do have a question
Oh.
for you,
Mm,
for them.
mhm.
Do you, if somebody, because part of this to me,
Mhm.
this is my angle,
Mhm.
is that it helps other people.
You
And
mean who we're remembering,
yeah,
or?
and if
Mm.
it's any of this like rings a bell, and it's
Mhm.
like, whoa, what?
Mhm.
I'm not, whatever it is.
No.
That can they contact you, or would you want them to do their own video and we would put it up,
Oh,
something like that? I know it's a
I
weird,
haven't even thought
I
about
know it's a
that.
strange angle, but
Um,
it's kind of it was just a thought that came to my head
I know there
because
are.
when we do this, we don't have real, we plan stuff out. And we don't. I mean, some of it is
Yeah,
life is
this is very
spontaneous.
much by the seat of our pants
Yeah,
here,
some
but.
of it, in a lot of ways, and just so what,
Mhm.
and that's sometimes good, but
Mhm.
and so this is part of it is I had that thought because I'm thinking of other people,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
so they feel comfortable, or maybe they want to show their face, but they want to do an audio or something, or they can do one in the dark or wear a mask,
Mhm.
or so everybody's wearing a mask now, but
Mhm.
what I'm saying is put on the glasses with the mustache and the nose, but um, how do you feel about that? Well, I'm just asking
I'll
you.
have to think about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking too. It's
Yeah.
because I know this is like all new, and it's like that's not what it's really about. But
Mhm.
what if somebody does contact you? I'm putting it out there, and then for you to think about
about like helping them
not really helping them, but maybe even just hearing their story or saying,
or
I know the same place or I went
mhm.
through this. Oh my, whatever. That's all I'm saying. Related.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how the channel works and if it has my email in there, but I think it does.
Well, they
I
can just
think
even
I
leave a comment and leave their
yeah,
contact. That's what it's all about. So,
I'm super busy.
yeah, I know. I
Um,
get that. It's
and
just a thought.
we run our own business, and it's
Yeah,
like that.
just something down the line. I'm just
I wear
putting it out
a
there.
million different hats.
All right. So that was my main question. So,
But yeah,
so that's okay.
I mean, it's the I don't know. I'm sure for most people it's a process. I mean, for me, it's been a process. It's been really hard for me to admit that this whole thing is real. Um, but through the process of remembering and putting the pieces together, um, and just how like emotional it is for me, because I've been reliving this stuff, and not just that, but I've been remembering people that I cared about, uh, that I've lost, including children. So it's been really hard. It's been really hard on me. Um, and the thing about the secret space program, if you want to call it that, um, it's made me realize that life is much much bigger, um, including humanity and what humanity is and what humanity was, and both on the good and the bad. The spectrum. I thought it was this big before. It's like this big. So it's just everything is just so much bigger, and I've had to really adjust to that,
Yeah.
and
So I
to
was saying earlier, it's like
yeah, I've had to change my paradigms.
it's potent. It's really potent.
Yeah.
But
Um,
it is
it's
it
funny, we
is.
keep talking about disclosure with movies, but at some point we need to talk about music videos.
Okay.
And I guess we'll eventually get to that. But, you know, if you guys haven't noticed, but I have like decades and decades of memories. So my tell all testimony, it's going to be going on for a real long time.
All right.
All right. Thanks
Cool.
again, you guys.
All right.
Thanks, David. This is stop.